Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. The Q&A for the latest Star Citizen concept ship, the RSI Perseus, has come out, answering the top and most common questions, or at least the ones that were the most highly voted. I am going to try something new here, giving a bit more context and my opinion to some of these answers, as well as just generally summarising the Q&A. The Perseus is a large anti-large ship, focusing on 4 massive size 7 weapons across 2 turrets, one on its top and one on its bottom. So let's talk about those armaments first. Can you change the big cannons? The main turret weapons on the Perseus are currently planned to be bespoke size 7 ballistic cannons. So this means you will not be able to change the cannons, but there will be different ammo types to provide flexibility in the future that you will be able to change. Exactly what types we don't really know yet, but I'm looking forward to lots of different ammo types for ballistic weapons and the other weapons, both FPS and ship-based. Are there pilot-controlled weapons for the ship? Will both big manned turrets be able to be linked to the pilot via computer blades? The pilot will have access to the torpedoes, and some of the other bridge stations will be able to control weapons. Like other ships with manned turrets, they are designed to be human-operated. However, as a fallback, they will be able to be NPC crewed or equipped with a computer blade. Well, that sounds pretty exciting to me, but we'll come back to that in a moment. What about these smaller twin ballistic Gatling turrets? How do these work? These turrets will come equipped with blades as standard, so can be automated by default. In addition, they will be controllable remotely from the bridge if the player wishes to manually control them. So those answers are pretty interesting so far. And it sounds like I might be able to run the Perseus solo if I use computer blades, though it didn't say whether the computer blades in the larger turrets will be able to have those auto-firing the turrets or just slave to the pilot. I'm not actually too fussed about that, just the fact you could run it with potentially one crew or a very, very tiny crew is pretty cool. It's possible that either are an option as well. Maybe you'll be able to slave it or auto-fire it just with different blades. The potential of running a load of Perseus with skeleton crews or a single player during fleet battles is going to potentially be very cool, but I expect AI blades will have downsides too, and balanced will be occurring to make sure that this sort of tactic isn't overpowered. This will be the same as everything with Star Citizen. They will balance everything with this sort of like intention and its role in mind in the future once everything's been built out. What's the larger ship that a size 7 gun will be effective against? This answer actually left a lot lacking, in my opinion. They're expected to be effective against all large ships if targeting critical areas on capital ships. They should provide similar effectiveness as the Crusader Ares size 7 weaponry. So this doesn't really tell us too much at this stage, this answer. It should be, really, 4 times more effective, the Perseus, than an Ares. There are 4 size 7 weapons, basically, you can bring to bear on a single target. So if they're all firing at it, they should be 4 times better, sort of. But these are also longer range ballistic cannons, which the Ares doesn't have. Does its ammo options, where it can change out its ammo, does that give it a bit more utility or a bit more effectiveness against certain targets? It also is going to be a more stable, tough platform to fire from rather than an Ares, which is obviously a heavy fighter, but it's certainly not going to be able to take as much punishment as the Perseus can. So I'd actually expect the Perseus to be a lot more effective against capital ships than an Ares would be, for many different reasons. What are the expected weaknesses of the Perseus versus a ship like the Hammerhead? The big weakness of this ship is a swarm of fighters, so exactly what the Hammerhead is designed to combat. It may have 2 size 7 turrets, but they aren't enough to defend itself against a determined group, as they don't rotate quickly enough to catch anything but larger targets. That said, I do actually expect those turrets to rip apart fighters that they do catch, and they might fare better at longer range against smaller targets if they're, as I said, longer range coming towards them, or if there are multiple Perseuses covering each other. They're not going to be totally, they just can never hit, but if you've got a fighter buzzing around you, well, you probably are going to get shot a lot by that fighter, but you might be able to tank a lot of shots from it as well. It's going to have to be a bit of a swarm to actually get through your sort of shields and armor. How heavily is it armored? It's heavily armoured for its size and designed to take a beating from other ships, but it isn't as strong as a capital ship's armour. What's the current stage within the pipeline for the Perseus? The Perseus is at concept stage and isn't in production in the vehicle pipeline at this time. Why is the SCM speed for this 100 metre ship set to a sedate 92 metres a second? The SCM speed is broadly in line with other ships of its size, class and mass, particularly given its heavily armoured nature. The speed, however, will be revised as the ship progresses through the ship pipeline. Does it have an armoury or weapon racks, or medical facilities and facilities for troop carrying, as it can carry a rover? Originally, the ship was not designed to carry a rover. It's more of a happy accident that it can, and it's a good representation of the general cargo volume that it has. It has no armoury or troop carrying abilities, as that's not its role. Its typical role is fleet defence, so it would rely on other ships in the fleet for its medical needs as well. So no medical facilities. Obviously there will be other ways of healing people without medical facilities on ships, and there are medical items and that sort of stuff. I would like to also add here that I do believe that it has storage for items, gear and FPS weapons, just no dedicated armory. And obviously you can have some people on the ship, but its bed facilities and assumedly its life support systems support a maximum of 6, so sort of bear that in mind. What are the pylons on the side of the ship right next to the docking collar? What are they supposed to be for? Currently they're just decorative. Maybe they're going to look into them later. Maybe they'll have like buffer bars or additional security sensor technology stuff there, but at the moment just decorative. What are the landed entry points to the ship? There is a dedicated personal entrance located on the bottom of the ship to the rear behind the cargo elevator and the cargo elevator itself. Why does the exterior appear to have 2 doors whilst only 1 airlock? There is no functionality there, that was purely done for symmetry. There is a picture of what appears to be the Perseus ramming a hammerhead. Is this a focus of the ship? The concept art of the Perseus moving through the wreckage of the hammerhead after destroying it is just that. It is moving through the wreckage. It is not ramming it. It's not breaking it apart. It's just moving through it after already blowing it up, assumedly. Not actually ramming it. So, like other ships, it's capable of doing that, but it's not recommended nor designed to ram. So, you're going to be taking a lot of damage as well. What makes this Perseus different from the military original, and will players be able to acquire the original military version in the future? Regarding the military original referenced in the brochure and lore, we won't actually see the originals as they are very old, predating the Tavaran Wars and the Xi'an Cold War. The lore does allude to a modern military version, which the in-game model is based on, but this is much the same as the Hornet and the Idris, or any other ship that's used by players but also used by the UE military. The implication being that this is the civilian model that we have our hands on as players, and it's sort of like a nerfed counterpart of the military version, or doesn't have all the military gear at the very least, whereas the military version would have top A-class military components for the most part, and the best sort of ammo and things like that. And that's it for this Perseus Q&A today. The ship is still on concept sale at time of recording, and I have a ship buyer's guide on that too, which I will link down below. It's available from $600, that ship. Not my ship buyer's guide, you can have that for free. But what do you think? Do you think you'll be able to run a Perseus semi-effectively solo with AI blades, or do you think you're going to want at least 2 to 3 players are running around helping you? What ammo types do you think we'll see for its weapons, and more generally as ballistic options in the future for other guns, and whether they be FPS or ship weapons? How many shots do you think we can get out of the ship before it runs out of ammo? And why wasn't that a question that was answered? Did you have any more questions about the ship? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Shipmas! We're giving away a Mercury Star Runner in December because it's Christmas and we do it every month anyway. Zin, put a Mercury Star Runner in my hand, because that's what we're giving away, and put a hat on it, like a Christmas hat. There you go. That's animation for you, potentially. I just moved my hand around. So just comment on any one of my videos during the month of December to be in for a chance of winning that. Also, maybe give someone special the gift that keeps on giving. I'm talking, of course, about NordVPN. Links below. Also, don't forget Shadow. They do cloud-based gaming stuff, so you can get that as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Click the YouTube join button, like and subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Thanks for supporting the channel. Merry Christmas. Oh. Mercury star.